Awesome. Love that. Well, welcome to our guests that are on. They are on because there is a special event that we're having. And I know there was somebody that hopped on early, and I don't know, maybe she thought you're coming on a little later, but it's okay. Um, we are giving vendors an opportunity to speak. So anyone that's on that has a business, we are gonna give them the platform for like a minute to share, their business and just talk about what they're all about and share your information so that we can connect with you. So so we're excited about that because we love to celebrate other business owners as well. The other thing I want to celebrate is those who registered for Feel the Power. Feel the Power is coming up, and that is February. Natalia, don't wait. Do not wait to do it. What is the date? It is February 9th. I'm sorry, 10 to 12. It's just a weekend, you guys. It is just a weekend. And so it is a family getaway. It is a weekend that you can take, take your family. You really get filled up. You get encouraged. You get to connect with God because let me tell you, we really get to connect with God. You get girlfriend time. We get to do exercise. We get to eat good. We get to be on the water. You get quiet time. So if you don't journal, you get to fellowship. So Feel the Power. Remember, that's in Destin. So that's February 10 to 12. And this year, they're having a special event on the 9th. So the day before, they're having a cruise. So you get to be a part of that. And then leadership is where? In Nashville. So if you've never been to Nashville, guess what? The best time to go is when you're going with a group of your sisters who have the same mindset, right? Leaders. So it is January 18th to the 21st. And so that would be my first time going into Nashville. So 18th to the 21st. And this year, it is open to DIQ. So Natalia, if you have 10 team members that are active, girl, you get to come with us too. So it's not hard. You just have to have it as one of your goals, and then you will be fine. And then I think that was it for me for announcements. A plus holidays are coming up. The adopt a grandparent program. Remember what the adopt a grandparent is? It is when we get to go to nursing homes. And we need more people. We need more people that are willing to go and give out baskets to grandmas and grandpas. We need more sponsors. Remember, talk to your consultant about what it takes to be a sponsor. It's only 25. But you get to go, you get to sing Christmas carols to them, and you get to spend time because the elderly, I don't know if you know, but they're one of the most neglected at this time of the year. So that is one of the things that we do. And I got that's one of my wins. I got a couple other people that want to be sponsors for the Adopt a Grandparent program. So continue to work on that. And Natalia, you can have people participate too. You would just probably, if you have me do the baskets down here, I mean, that's one way you can participate, so that's a thought. So because we're down here doesn't mean that you cannot be a part of it. You could tell people that you're doing it for nursing homes in Palm Beach where your MK sisters are, and you can do it that way if you don't want to do anyone in your area. So that's a thought.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but that's something too that can, I mean, we don't make a profit on it, but it will help you golden rule achieve. So that's one way to look at it. All right, and if we have any vendors that are here on here, you do have an opportunity. Joan McCormick, welcome. So if you do have a business, this is free advertising for you. You get a minute to share, and it doesn't matter if it's not in the US, it's international, but you do get a minute to share your business and what it's all about and any contact information. So at this time, any vendors that want to share, you can feel free to do that. Anyone? No? All right, so at this time, Georgette Lee Green, I'm gonna just introduce her really quick. I had somebody that was assigned to do that. So I don't know if the speaker is ready, but I'm going to do a quick introduction. Georgette Lee Green hails from the parish of St. James, Jamaica. She's a healthcare worker assigned to the dialysis unit at the Cornwall Regional Hospital in Montego Bay, Jamaica. She's also the owner of a small business called Lily's Enterprise. So that's some free advertising. Shout out to Lily's Enterprise. She's a member of the Salt Spring New Testament Church of God, who strongly believes in the power of prayer. I can tell you this is the truth. Georgette Lee Green is a very young, but she has a wealth of knowledge. She's like my mama, even though I'm the oldest, and life experiences which she uses to uplift others. She has graced many audiences, both locally and internationally, giving motivational talks based on such experiences. She strongly believes in the philosophies. The only way you fail is if you fail to try. And what the caterpillar perceives is the end, to the butterfly is just the beginning. So thank you so much, Georgette, for even taking time out to come on and pour into us. I know there's some people that are latecomers. I would hate for them to miss it, but I am streaming it. So at least they can go back and watch. And then if you want to connect with anyone, let me know. I'll be happy to create a breakout room so that you can connect with anyone separately. Oh, Natalia said she told people 8:30. Okay, Natalia, now I see why. It's okay.
I saw the training said 7:45 and guess 8:30, so I thought that's
okay. So Georgette, I mean, I can do training in the meantime. Georgette, is that okay? Are you okay with the time at 8:30?
Yes, I'm okay with the time. Just go ahead and do the training. I guess my people should be hopping on and at 8:30 as well. So
okay,
just and do the training. That's fine.
Okay, all right. So training in the meantime. Hold a second. Let me just give me a second. Let me just grab something really quick. Stars are brightly shine. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. All right. All right. Thank you, guys. All right. So good. We have time to do a little bit of training, and that's the nice thing is since we are at the end of the year, I don't know if you guys saw Natalia that they were doing 60% discount for or off for consultants. Can you imagine? That's a big profit margin. Imagine that you have a business and you can make 60% profit. That's really, really good. So, and that's what I'm teaching you guys. I teach women at the end of the year, how can you maximize and track, right? How can you maximize your business? For example, if you have to, I guess, make purchases, gifts, that's one of the things I want to maximize is any gift that you're going to get, you plan to get a gift to somebody, why not order it from yourself? And that gift is a marketing item, so you can get to write that off as well, right? It comes under gifts or marketing. If you're going out to parties or dinners or white elephant, use that opportunity to give a Mary Kay gift, you know. And what I do when I create my basket, I don't just put only Mary Kay in them. I always put something else, like I mix it with something else and make it look nice and cute. And so some of the things I'm going to mention are just how, you can maximize and utilize some of the resources you're already using. For example, your receipts. This is important, you guys. Your receipts or your sales, you write those on sales tickets, right? See, I have a sales ticket here, and I try to keep some of these on me in the car. So I had a client who ordered an item, but I keep these in a particular area for this year. Because once December is done, I'm not mixing these receipts with the one for 2023. So keeping the sales ticket, because that's going to be proof, you need to report your sales as well. When you're doing your taxes, right? You want to report your sales. Any bank deposit slips. So if you made any deposits in the bank, then we would make sure you're keeping those records as well. And you're required to keep these for 7 years. Any people that return products, any returns or exchange or refund, you want to keep a track of that. Anyone that owes you money, that's under bad debt. Yeah, if somebody, like in Jamaica, they say trust your product, but if anyone is supposed to pay and they didn't, hopefully you don't have a lot of people that did that, then that would come under bad debt because they didn't pay you for this year. Cost of the goods sold. So receipts to support purchases. So any shipping or handling. So post office, I put that on the postal. Did you ship to anybody? Did you have to use any hostess gift, personal use items? You want to make sure you're keeping a track of that. And I know this is stuff you've heard before, but it's a nice reminder. Other income. So what are some of the other incomes that you may have made through your Mary Kay? Your prizes, awards, 1099 if you get one from the company, if the company sent you that. So you're probably going to want to make sure that you're keeping those as well. Did you pay for any advertising? This is as we're wrapping up the year. Start getting your numbers together, because remember, starting January 1st, you want to take the mileage on your car and write that down. I would write it down in your 2023 planner, because that's how you're going to see what your mileage is at the beginning of the year and then at the end of the year. And then when you subtract that, that's how you know how much miles you put on your car that year, right? And you have to have an idea of how much percentage you actually use for business. So did you pay to renew your website? Did you pay to renew ProPay, right? Welcome iPhone. I don't know who you are. Whoever the guests are, put your name in the chat, because we are going to be doing a raffle drawing and we want to make sure that the guests are properly recognized. So Natalia, if you don't mind helping me keep a track of the guests. Marie, I don't know if you're iPhone, but whoever the
Marie.
Oh,
Marie.
yeah.
I'm driving.
Okay, all right, no worries. So Marie is Natalia's Mary Kay mama. That's how I'm gonna put it. All right. So did you put any customers on the preferred customer program? Did you have any other expenses, any literature? Did you have to order, or did you go to the dollar store and buy stuff to decorate your basket? Did you go to Joann's and buy some wrapping paper? Like whatever it is that you got for your business, make sure you're keeping a track of that. I think we're leaving a lot of money on the table when we're not. Car and truck expenses, so mileage log. Under here, it also mentions receipts, repairs, insurance, tires, parking fees. That's one of the things that, my accountant always asks me, hey, parking, travel expenses. Did you buy a plane ticket? Did you have to pay for your luggage? Those kind of things. Make sure that you're taking advantage of that. Did you give awards? Did you give free gifts to anyone when they ordered a certain amount? Make sure. What I try to do, I write on the receipt what I gave them. And then you want to record that item. But also, guess what? Here's one of the caveat to that. When you record what you gave them as a free gift, you can follow up and say, hey, how did you like the gift that I gave you? That's one of the things that you can do. Depreciation, they mentioned that, but also office space. Like, what are you what is the size of the space you're using in your home as part of your Mary Kay business? Are you using a whole room, or are you using a portion of your of that room as your office space? And the your accountant probably want to get that square footage. Did you buy insurance? So protection insurance and general liability. This is not homeowners insurance, this is separate. This is Mary Kay, they have an insurance that you can get that if you have products that are damaged, they will help to replace that. Interest. Did you get interest on business loans? Did you have interest on credit cards? One of the things they have is banking fees. You know, did you get an overdraft, or did you get a credit card fee, or did you have to pay propay fees? All of those you get to write off. So I don't know if you guys are doing all of this, but make sure you're taking note. Any legal or professional services, so any payments to accountants. So I had to, see my accountant and I had to write him a check. Make sure you're making a record of that. Did you have to pay any fees for filing? Did you have to pay any attorneys or professional for services that they provided related to your Mary Kay business? Those are write-offs. Office expenses. I put that under office expenses. So what covers office expenses? So did you have to buy paper for the printer? Did you have to buy ink? Did you have to make copies? Did you have to get postage stamps? Those type of things. That would be under office expenses. Postage, I mentioned that already. So posting or mailing packages, all of those come under expenses. Rent on vehicles, machinery, equipment. So did you have to rent any vehicle or anything related to that? Did you have to rent a car because you're driving to feel the power? Those kind of stuff are write-offs. Auto lease expenses, any leased office equipment. So if you lease any office space or equipment, those type of things would come under that. Rent, I guess the rent would come under business property. If you did that, then that would be a part of it. Hi, Floretta. So Floretta, we're just doing training, and then at 8:30 is when we're gonna have our guest speaker on. So thank you for coming on. You're at one of the best parts as well. So I'm just mentioning about how we can take advantage of this holiday season and what are some things that you can do to prep for the end of the year and to get into that new year. Any supplies? So cost of sales aids, any section 2 items, any supplies that you needed for your sessions, cotton balls, starter kit, that would be under supply. So did you have to pay to get your business started? That would be a part of it. Even, things that would be a part of your personal, like your image, that comes under uniform. Did you buy jewelry because you're going to this event and you want to look cute? Did you buy a top or a dress or shoes that you're wearing particularly to your MK event? That would all be a part of some of your write-offs as well. If I'm going too fast, please let me know. Sales taxes and licenses, those type of things. Did you have to pay for any occupational taxes, business tax, gross receipt taxes? The only way you can do that, I would keep a track of everything. So what I do, I keep my receipts. I keep all my receipts and I'm able to give that to my employees. Travel, I mentioned that already. When you're doing travel, and if you're unmuted, I'm going to mute you unless you have a question. In travel, you want to make sure, I have a daily planner here. You want to make sure, like if you do get audited, you can go to your date book and say, oh yeah, I went to Feel the Power on this day and it was 300 miles. I don't remember the name of the app, but there's an app that records your miles for you. But if your planner also shows that you went to that event, those are also things that, can be supportive documentation. So business travel expenses, so transportation. So if you had to stop and buy gas, that mileage, or did you take Uber? If you had to pay for hotel or any type of lodging, did you have to pay tips when you were traveling? Did you have to tip the bellhop or anything like that? Any convention fees? So did you have to pay for a seminar? Did you have to pay for Feel the Power? All of that would go under that. Meals and entertainment. Did you go on a coffee chat? Did you go out to dinner? When you went out to dinner, did you talk to the hostess or give them your business card, then that's a write-off. Meals from business, travel, entertainment related to your MK business, those are write-offs. I think a lot of us were doing that. We're doing these activities, but not recording them. I think that's a big issue. So we want to make sure you are taking advantage. All right, utilities. They say long distance phone calls. We have phones and we have WhatsApp for that. But any utilities, I know that you can do phone, internet. So if you have internet coverage, you can put that, because we do need to go on and we do need to access the website. We do need to post. So those would come under utilities, portion of your light and a portion of your water, because you have to keep, you need your light because you need to keep your stuff at a certain temperature. And then of course with the water, when you have people come over to try the products, you can write off a portion of your water as well. So I hope you guys are really taking advantage of that. Wages. So I do have somebody who helps me out in the office to send emails to my clients or do reminders for me. So I do keep a track of that. So hourly wages or salaries that are paid for office assistant. So you can write those off as well. Even if it's just a few dollars, it's better than nothing. Other expenses, these are other things you can do, like bank service charges on banking fees. So if you're charged an overdraft, or say every month they charge you for this account, they charge you every month for this account. Those are fees. Money orders, if you get money orders, I don't know. Money order fees, credit card processing fees. ProPay is one of my biggest ones. So that's one of the ones I make sure I do. Gifts with purchase. Make sure if you're giving, and I usually, anybody that orders 40 and over, I give them a free gift. So if you're giving that person a gift, make a note of it. Don't just randomly, oh yeah, here's this. Make a note of what you're giving them, because then you can list that and the value of that item that you're giving away. So make sure that you are taking advantage and keeping a record of that as well. How much did it cost you to do the PCP program, the preferred customer program? Make sure you are recovering that when you do your taxes. Other hostess gifts. So did you give somebody a gift for hosting a session for you? Those would be other expenses. You can write those off. Bad debt, we mentioned that. Somebody that doesn't pay what they're supposed to pay, you can write those off. Well, hopefully people do pay. And any other expenses, one of the ones that I don't think it's listed here, but laundering. So if you take your clothes to get dry cleaning fees, dry cleaning, you can put that as a write-off. So your Mary Kay attire. So like my director jacket, if I take that and get that, dry clean, that would come under that expense as well. Expense for business use of your home, I mentioned that already. Maintenance, repairs, utilities, taxes, mortgage, interest, they mentioned that. So talk with your accountants. If you're ever uncertain of what are some of the things you can make note of, talk with your accountant and make sure they are aware of some of the write-offs that you can utilize with Mary Kay. If they're not familiar with Mary Kay, I would say maybe you want to talk to somebody else, or you may have to give them different ideas of what they can do. Any questions? Marie, you unmuted. Any questions, thoughts, or comments?
No, I'm good.
So somebody can unmute. What are some of the things that I shared in terms of taking advantage of your business and utilizing it to the max potential that you weren't doing that you definitely will do starting today?
For me, I would say is definitely keeping track of what I put in the gift baskets as far as the gifts and the samples. Because what happened is last year, I had a friend of mine that bought a gift set. And she's like, oh, one of my coworkers want one of the same gift baskets. And I'm like, I sold so many different gift baskets. I don't know which, I don't know which gift basket what items was in that particular basket. And then she sent me a picture, but it was so far away. I just know it was satin hands, but I don't know what else I put in the gift basket. So definitely it's keeping track of what, what you put in the baskets and stuff.
Yeah, I like that. What I've tried to do, Natalia, is before I wrap it, I try to take a picture. If you notice, that's how I get to send you guys pictures too, because I try to take a picture of what's in there and then I wrap it. So maybe you can try that. And then when I write up the receipt, I'll put gift basket, but then I will also write what's in there. Like I'll quickly jot down, cleanser, blah, 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 whatever is in there. And then of course I have the picture of what jazzing, what do I use to jazz my basket up. So those are different ideas. Awesome. So the other thing that I do, you guys, for the holidays, when people order products, I try to wrap it cute. So even though they're personally just getting it for themselves, I wrap it to make it look like a gift. So it's a gift from them to them. And so when they see that, the idea is that, oh, one, I take time out. I value them as a customer. I'm not just making money off you. That's not the case. I value as a customer. And two, it gives you an idea that, oh, you know what? The same thing I bought for myself. Can I have it for my sister? I've had that happen, especially with the Illumine. That was how I made a big deal about how I wrapped it and made it look nice and cute. And I'm no way, shape, or form that creative, but I take time and I've honed in on that skill. So some people like Georgette, it comes naturally to her, and Joan, and maybe Natalia. Oh yeah, Natalia for sure. It comes naturally, but not for me. So for me, it takes more time. And so taking that time out to build that gift, that order, the client now will come back and use you for gift giving for the holidays. And guess what? From that person getting that gift, you better have your contact information in there and your labels on your items, because that person now can become a potential new customer. So those are just some ideas for the holidays. And you got to open your mouth. This reminded me, and I'm brought back to the widower who lost her husband and needed to sell the oil. And so guess what she had to do? She had to go knock on doors to get the empty jars. And then after that, right? After the jars were filled, guess what she had to do? She had to go out and sell her oil. So we cannot just sit down and expect that, oh, I don't put a picture up, I don't post. How are people going to know that you have a Mary Kay business if you're not posting, or you're not opening your mouth, or you're not doing lead events, or you're not wearing Mary Kay? I mean, you got to put yourself together and wear it head to toe. And then when you wear it head to toe, that will probably give you more confidence to open your mouth and talk about it. So that's one of the best things I will say is, open your mouth, post. I mean, you guys have a platform. I cannot do anything else in terms of giving you pictures. I mean, you can find your own, but I get all the time, where do you find this picture? Guess what? I provide you with the videos. I provide you with pictures. I provide you with the wording. So you have no reason why you're not posting. So take 5 minutes and do one, even if it's one post or one thing that you share on your status per day. People are watching, right, Natalia? I know you have examples of this. People are watching your posts. So I just got off advisory board meeting, and that's one of the things, like, we want you guys to be successful, and we're here to help empower you. But if you're not doing the work that we recommend or any suggestions, like, it's hard to not be frustrated when you want the results, but you're not doing the work. So you got to make sure you're putting yourself out here. So Natalia, I see you. All right. Any questions, thoughts, or comments or ideas? Like, what are some different ideas or holiday tips that you guys use for the holidays that has been beneficial? I know, Natalia, you've been around long enough to have ideas.
I think for this year, I'm just going to go more towards the businesses that are the individuals that are not leaving at work. Like I have a mechanic shop right next door.
Mm-hmm.
I have a restaurant on the opposite side. So businesses that's pretty close to me that I plan on taking my gift back to. So
Nice. And you know what, Natalia, the fact that you mentioned that, think about the mechanics. How often, how many days are they usually open? Think about it. They're probably open 6 days a week, some 7 days a week, and they close late, right? So when do they usually have time to go shopping? And men are usually last minute, right? Sorry, guys, men are usually last minute, but not all of them are. But when do they have time to go shopping? So imagine you show up, you pop your trunk, and you're like, listen, these are my gifts. They're already packaged. They have a gift tag on it. You can write whoever it's to. The card's there. It's ready to go. Imagine how much easier you'll make their life be if you do that. So car dealerships, guys are there. Mechanic shops, they're there. And you know what? Like, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You just go out. And Miss Pet always tells me, she's like, Kenisha, even if it's $1, be grateful for that dollar. Because when you're grateful for the little bit, God will bless you with the more, right? And that's what. So that's my mindset. You have to be willing to go out there into the streets, show your products, use it yourself, and that is how that's going to help you to connect with others. All right, other ideas for the holidays, I would say you can do shows. You can look at Eventbrite, see what events are going on in your area, and from there you can sign up for those events. Like, don't be afraid. You don't have to wait for your director to host these events or invite you to a lead event. You can do it yourself, you guys. And that's just another way to get your name out there. You can do a show yourself, a pop-up shop. That's a popular one. You could do a pop-up shop. You can ask a beauty salon if you can have a table set up there on a Saturday and do satin hands. I love the body oil. It is so easy now when I do events to have people try the body oil because it's not greasy. And people are like, oh my God, that's Mary Kay. That actually feels good. And I've gotten orders from that, or just, people wanting to see more. So I would say have something to try and have something to sell. I never used to have much for people to try at the events, but I'm finding that more and more people, when they try, they are willing to get it right then and there. So that's one of the things I would say. Like, you need to have one of your samplers for people to try, and that will help boost your sales and boost potential team members. You never know. All right, we have 5 minutes, so you guys can ask me any questions for 5 minutes before we get started, before we bring on our guest speaker. Any questions or comments or ideas that may have worked for them? Or what about, like, what do you put in your baskets? Natalia, I don't know if you're able to share. So in addition to MK, what are some other things that you include in your baskets to jazz them up?
I put socks, I put glasses or wine, flutes. I would put candy. I put gnome. Is gnomes the little puppets?
Mm-hmm.
I put, like, last year I had like little mini, like I had a mini park bench, a mini light pole, just miniature things, and make it look cute. I had the cart last year that almost looked like a wheelbarrow type thing. So just different cute little things that I might put up. I might put a notebook, a journal, gloves. I put, I find different cute stuff from the dollar store, and just add to it and make it look cute. And then, us, and we love stuff that sparkle and
Yeah.
pretty. So
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. The fact that you mentioned that, it reminded me this weekend I had, and this was, I mean, I didn't expect the lady was gonna take it, but it was like it was one of the men's set with the bag. And I put a Christmas, like a big Santa head, like the Santa's head was huge. And and it had the beard, made out of what do you call it? Knit. Anyway, so I put that in there, tied it up real cute. And the lady was like, I want that. Like, can I have that? She didn't want the perfume, the cologne by itself. She wanted it the packaged already. And so, those things like the ornaments, like Natalia said, one of the things that I put sometimes, I like putting like, stuff like headbands to pull your hair out of your face. Notebooks is one of my favorite ones. Jewelry, I'll sometimes will put, jewelry in there, like a nice necklace, especially if you find out about the person. I'm Georgette. I know and Joan, I know Georgette is great at putting different stuff in her baskets. But those things, socks is one of the ones, mugs. I love doing the holiday mugs, the wine glasses. Those type of things are great ways to jazz your basket up. All right.
So I wanted to add one more thing. I have a client ordered 5 gift baskets for his aunts. So what I did was I got the stockings and I got I purchased some rhinestones, the red rhinestones with the initial, and I put each sister's initial. I'm waiting for the rhinestones to actually get here, but I'm going to put each sister's initial on the stocking itself. So that could be, something like keepsake. So every Christmas going forward, that's something that they can put up in their homes.
I love that. That's a great idea. Yes, stockings. I love that. And I love I love, Natalia, how you're personalizing that. But can you imagine that every year he's going to want to use you to do the gifts? I mean, I've had some repeat offenders as a result.
I know.
Was somebody asking a question? I heard. Anybody? All right. All right. Okay, so we are ready. I know, Natalia, you probably want to shoot out a message. We don't want to miss a minute. We want to hear from Georgette. I'm so grateful that not only did she take the time out to come on here, but to take the opportunity to share. And I know that she has a word. I don't know what she's going to share about, but I know that whatever she has is going to be powerful. And I know that it is for somebody that's here tonight. So after she's done, if you do want to connect with her individually, then we can organize that as well. I can do a breakout room or however way she wants to do it. So Georgette, I thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to just come and pour into our girls. When you came on last time, they were so excited and just wanted more. So Natalia, start sending out messages to the group and just let them know that we're getting started. And so thank you so much for guests that are hopping on. Thank you so much for just taking the time out and just believing in us and pouring into us. And so thank you. And after we're done, we're going to ask that if there's something you heard or you can just affirm her, we're going to ask that you guys do that as well. So Georgette, we are ready to hear from you. Thank you so much.
It's a good night, everyone. I must apologize for not being able to open my camera. Where I'm at, the internet is not that stable. So I'm going to have to keep my cameras closed for tonight. However, before we begin, we're just going to do a short prayer. Father, we thank you tonight and we glorify your name. We thank you for the opportunity, God, that we can join together to hear from you and to be encouraged as business women and businesswomen and men, Father. So, Lord, I pray that your Holy Spirit will just be within our midst. I pray, God, that our hearts will be receptive. And I pray, God, that each person will leave here tonight, God, being enriched, empowered, and ready for the next hurdle. So I thank you, Almighty God, for this opportunity. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, so the theme is Girl Get Up. So the men who are on, I do apologize, but girl/men, boy, man, woman, get up. So Kenisha highlighted last night that most of who is on, you're all businessmen and women. So the girl get up is geared tonight towards, you know, businessmen and women. Um, I know that each of us experience a few falls in our life, and maybe you just got fired from your job and you don't know how to start over. Maybe your marriage or your relationship has failed and you're trying with all your might to move on. Maybe you have invested so much in your business and it crashed. In Mary Kay, we know that you have to meet certain requirements at the end of the month. We have persons that is trying to go in DIQ. It's not easy. And at some point in our lives, we fail. But before I even go further, I want us all to understand that failure is a part of life and failure is a part of the success process. J.K. Rowling summed it up nicely. J.K. Rowling is the best-selling author with the phenomenal Rags to Riches story. And he beautifully summed up failing or falling down as, and I quote, "It is impossible to live without failing at times, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default." End of quote. So here he summed it up nicely that failing is a part of life. And if you're going to be successful, you will have to fail. Now, success is not what it seems on the surface, because all of us see, these successful businessmen and women, and, we see the glim, we see the glamour, but we don't see what what they have been through. And everyone who has ever achieved a worthwhile goal in life, they have experienced failure of some sort. For example, Steven Spielberg, who is a famous, US film director, had his share of failures and setbacks before him successful. Did you know that Walt Disney and even Michael Jordan failed before they became famous? When I hear about money, we think about Bill Gates. No, Bill Gates experienced many ups and downs before he became successful, you know, in his respective field. So these icons are perfect examples that the road to success is anything but smooth. En route the journey, you are sure to encounter obstacles, hurdles, rough patches. We are bound to fail sometimes. And Oprah Winfrey spoke these words while giving a commencement speech at Harvard University. And I quote, "It doesn't matter how far you might rise. At some point, you are bound to stumble. So no matter how good you are in your field or area expertise, there is no guarantee or immunity against failure, nor is there any surety that you'll succeed the first time around or make it every single time. Sometimes we work so hard for the things we truly believe in, only for life to not go according to our plans. And it's in these moments you might feel like throwing in the towel. It's in these moments, you feel like giving up. It's like in Jamaican terms, you might say, "Me can't bother." That's the time when we want to give up. But I want to encourage you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. What matters though is what you do after you fall. What do you do after you fail? Have you ever noticed an athlete who fell, during a race? They get back up. So when the athlete is there running the race, man, and they fall down in a Jamaica, we will say they drop. They always get back up. So, ladies and gentlemen, we need to have the same approach when life knocks us down. I myself has had many failures, you know, I have my own business, which is Lily's Enterprise, and it hasn't been what it is today. I failed many, many, many times. I've invested my time, I've invested money, and I fail. But here I am again. Lily's Enterprise is taking off by the grace of God. And, I've had many situations where I fell down emotionally. I am even going through a storm right now. But I got back up because guess what? I got to understand that failure doesn't care about how you feel. Failure doesn't care about how I feel. It makes no concessions. It only throws two choices in our way. It's either give up or fight again. And you know what the great news is? The great news is failing does not make you a failure. Failing or falling, it makes you human. Yes? It makes you, it means you're someone who is going somewhere. In fact, I've got to really understand and prove that the more you fail, the more adept you get at bouncing back from your failures, directly impacting the amount of success that you're likely to find in life. So, based on my experiences, based on the many times that I've fallen up and I managed to rise, based on the many times that Lily's enterprise failed, I got to bounce back. And tonight, I'm going to share with you some points that help me to bounce back from failure and to help you all to get back on track. So, one, you're going to take the time to feel your pain. When you hit the ground on all fours, you may feel the need to deny your situation or to take it for granted. Don't do that. Instead, allow yourself to be vulnerable to the way you feel. Ladies and gentlemen, if you feel angry for being fired, inadequate for a failed business, or depressed that your spouse left you, accept what you feel. Don't mask it. Don't hide it. Embrace it. Taking time for your emotions, taking time to feel your emotions and grieving your situation. It is a good start to refocus in yourself for what's to come. You can't rise from a fall by avoiding the fact that you fell and actually got hurt. If you do so, the pain is just going to pile up and weigh you down. If it don't happen the same time, trust me, it's gonna happen sooner or later. So grieve. Cry if you feel the tears and scream at the top of your lungs if it helps you feel better, and it will. I remember a couple weeks ago, my sister said, girl, cry, bawl, scream if you must. And that's when I learned that I have to take time to feel my pain. So it's okay to grieve. Second point, analyze what happened. You cannot undo what happened by taking stock of. You cannot undo what happened by taking stock of what happened. You can, dispassionately assess and gain insight into what went wrong here and there. And, analyzing it, it will also enable you to understand what worked and what didn't so that you can begin with a whole new approach. So when you analyze what happened, when you think about it, it will help you to revise, to strategize what happened. It helps you to better prepare yourself and work on your weak points and improve your future performance. And it will also give you the confidence to bounce back and to begin more confidently. So when you analyze and you think about why the business failed, when you think about it, okay, as Kanisha said before, I did not advertise, I need to advertise. You did not promote the business well. So that may be a reason why, the business failed. Maybe, you don't manage money well, and maybe you need an accountant, maybe you need to pay more attention to customer service. So when we fail, we need to analyze what happened. Third point, accept what you can't change. And this is like grieving, but it's more about understanding that what happened can't be undone. If your business failed and you're deep in debt, you can't change the facts. Not in a day at least, and definitely not by numbing or ignoring the situation that you're in. If your spouse walked away from you and your kids, you and your kids are hurt, it might hurt for a long time, but you can't change any of it. So try to accept it and start thinking of what's to come next. And this comes after you stop the screaming. So this is just part of the healing process. And the sooner you're able to accept and understand what you can't change, the better it is. Now, accepting what you can't change includes being kind and to forgive yourself. When life knocks you down, it's normal to feel guilty. You blame yourself, man. And you even add self-hate to that pile. However, at the end of the day, you must learn to forgive yourself and find a door within the darkness. Think of it. Think about all the people that have been in your situation and successfully lived through it. What did they do to recover? So if you're in a situation like that, if you're falling and you're still on the ground, do a research. Think about somebody who you know that went through the same situation that you did and do a research from them. Maybe you can even talk to them and say, look, I know you went through this. How did you do it? How did you bounce back? The truth is, in the midst of all our troubles, in the midst of all your troubles and depression, someone else has been in your shoe. Someone else has felt what you're feeling now. Fourth point, develop mental toughness to triumph over failure. So setback should not dishearten or break you, which sometimes it does. And if it does, don't let it happen for long. Failure is not an end in itself. Don't let it steal your confidence or lower your self-esteem. Ladies and gentlemen, train yourself to take bad hits in life. Use failure to learn. Use failure to grow. Use failure to better yourself. And most of all, try to maintain positive attitude in the face of failure. That's how you can strengthen your mental toughness muscles. And one way, that I found it really beneficial in helping me to develop mental toughness is to let go of others' opinion. What other people think of you, it doesn't matter. The key to overcoming your feeling of failure is to simply stop caring about what other people think. I know that sometimes, you remember the hardest, darkest days, and sometimes our minds play trick on us because sometimes we assume that everyone else holds them in the same regard. Sometimes we think that, okay, because I went through a failed marriage and you pass a group of people talking, you think that they're gossiping about you. Yes, you know that you were a director, you got demoted. And okay, I heard you step into a room, you might think that, okay, they're talking about you. The reality is, sometimes it's not about you. It's our minds playing trick on us. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't spend your life worrying about what others might be thinking. Maybe they don't even remember one thing about what you're going through. Sometime in Jamaica, when things bad happen, they will say a 9-day attack. Number 5, begin again and map out your goal. Failure can devastate you if you allow it to. On the other hand, failure can help you rebuild yourself and embark on your success journey again. After all, there can always be a next time, right? Failure doesn't have to mean the end of your dreams, your goals, and aspirations. So we should learn to harness the power of failure to motivate you to chase your goals. Use failure to take a fresh start. Use failure to make a new beginning. Let failure make you stronger. Make failure make you tougher and more resilient so that you don't just survive. Failure, the failure that you go through, the setback that you have, the fall that you have, use it to bounce back and make you stronger. Use that failure as the driving force to get back up and say, look, when I started out initially with this business, I had this love, I have this drive. Mary Kay is all about women empowerment. I wanted to help people. I wanted to empower other women. If you fall down, you didn't make it to directorship, you didn't meet your goal for this month, don't stay there. Try to get back that drive and bounce back stronger. You know, Nelson Mandela, a famous quote that he said, the greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Let me read it again for somebody. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. And that's what Nelson Mandela said. So map out a plan for your goals. A goal without a plan is just a wish. And this quote by Anthony de Saint said, you can write it down, break it down into as many small daily goals as you want. But if you don't have an action plan to execute it, all will be in vain. A goal without a plan is just a wish. So you're going to make plans around your goals. And if your goal is to heal from a breakup, and one of your smaller goals is to read inspirational books, make plans to buy the book. Your marriage failed, a relationship failed, that's not the end of the world. Start date again. Put yourself together. You have to have a goal, ladies and gentlemen. Because as the famous writer said, a goal without a plan, it is just a wish. So just like we're going to identify the book, you're going to identify the book. You're going to go on dates. You're going to learn to love again. You're going to put yourself out there. The business fail? Yes, you're going to plan again. Your goal is to have 10 team members within 3 months. Start writing down how you're going to do it. So this point, I really love it. Begin again and map out your goal. Now, the final point is seek advice and encouragement from a mentor and trusted professional in your field. When you fail, it's easy to retreat and want to isolate yourself. They say shame on a load, but it broke neck. So sometimes you'll feel embarrassed, frustrated, and maybe even dealing with feelings of depression, which we are human and that's normal. However, it is important for us not to fall in that situation. We should try not to isolate ourselves. Try to reach out to people that you trust. And one thing that I admire about Mary Kay and its sisterhood, Mary Kay, they have a strong support system. They are there for each other. And a support system is essential for growth. Regardless of what you do or what your industry is, when you have a network of people who care about your personal and professional success, you are encouraged even when you fail. So in the wake of failure, reach out to those people you trust. Seek encouragement and advice and, be willing to listen because oftentimes they have insight from being in your shoe. Should always try to seek encouragement and, mentor from trusted professionals or persons in your field. Ladies and gentlemen, regardless of the type of failure you have had, we need to recognize that you have been through a traumatic event and there's a grieving process to follow. I've come to realize based on my situation that there isn't a right or wrong way to go through failure. You need to learn to lean into your feelings to work out what they're telling you. You might feel ready to bounce back quicker than you expected. But first, I want to encourage you to take a step back and process what happened. I don't intend to be long tonight, but in closing, failure comes to us at some point or another. You could be an entrepreneur, an aspiring artist, or a working professional, just fill in the bank. Because it doesn't really matter what you are or what you do. Failure will eventually find you. You want to know why? Because failure is a part of life and the success process. Truth is, if you are striving for something above and beyond what you are now, there's a good chance that you'll experience some type of failure along the way. Once you're striving to be a better person, once you're striving to be a cut above the rest, there is no guarantee that you won't fail. But guess what? It is up to you to decide and take the call. You can choose to opt for an easy way out, step back and quit, or you're going to make a hard choice of picking yourself up, get back on your feet, dusting off and starting all over again. The choice will help you to steer yourself towards success. That choice, that hard decision, will help to transform your life and your business. Finally, failure is neither glamorous nor desirable, but experiencing failure, by experiencing a fall, it can be the catalyst for doing and achieving more than ever. Finally, I want to leave you with this thought. Think about it. Falling down is a part of life, but getting back up is living. Ladies and gentlemen, get up. Thank you all for having me tonight. And it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure joining and sharing with you guys. Have a good evening.
Oh my goodness, I could not mute fast enough. Thank you so much for sharing. Wow, those, and I've been, as she was sharing the points, I was putting them in the chat. I'm just honored to have you share, take the time and just sharing how we can get back up, brush ourselves off, because honestly, and I've been there, it's not the easiest thing to fall down and get back up and be excited to do that. So before I share anything, I would like three of you, one at a time, unmute yourself and just share or affirm Miss Georgette Lee Green or something that she shared tonight that stood out to you. I know somebody was I had a person that was texting me and was saying that, oh my gosh, that's for me, that's for me. So who was it? Anybody would like to affirm her? If you're able to unmute yourself and just share some of the takeaways.
Yes, I always love listening to Miss Georgette speak. I always do. I was excited that she's actually, she was speaking tonight. Georgette, thank you so much. The first one hit home, which was take time to feel your pain. When I lost my mom, I did not take time to feel that pain. And, even now, I'm learning more to feel the pain, because what I would do is I would just brush it. That's okay. That's one more thing that happened. That's one more thing that happened. But it's like you're bottling all these emotions up inside. And then eventually when those emotions our release is almost like a pressure cooker. It's so much that you're intaking and intaking and intaking and not releasing it. So then eventually you're going to explode. And then when you explode, it might not be in a positive way. So the first one, I mean, all of them hit home, but the first one definitely hit home. And then develop mental toughness. I feel you have to be tough because, and it's not even about, sweeping the things up, but you have to be tough, especially in the world that we're in right now, because life is a struggle. Like, it's always going to be something that's going to come and knock you down. Like Kanisha called them distractions. Something is always, whenever you think that you're taking two steps forward, something is going to happen and it's going to knock you backwards. But it's about not giving up. It's about getting up and keep going and keep going and keep going. And no matter how many times you fall, keep getting up, because you don't know, one of those times, if you do decide to fall, you could have been right at the end. You could have been right at the finish line. You could have been right at your winning streak, or but just not giving up. That's why my daily mantra is giving up is never an option.
That love that. Thank you so much, Natalia. Because you know what, especially with what life is, how everything is going right now, it's so easy to just give up and throw in the towel. I mean, we see a lot of that happening, and people are just quitting, just giving up on life itself. All right. Anybody else want to affirm Georgette or something that she shared that really stood out to you?
Hi, good night, everyone.
Good
Um,
night.
I think most of all of what Georgia said really um I can really take it into my life, because for the past couple months I've been going through like a whole lot, but I think most of it started back in 2019 when I lost my aunt, and that's one of the main things in life I feared, losing her. And what I would do is I would just get so busy in work and not be connected to my emotions. So it's like when I was forced to take a day off or so, that's when the emotions would come up, but I would still push them aside. And I think, especially going to school now and trying to pursue, like the enemy tried to stop me in many ways and try to bring up a lot of different past life struggles in me. And what I had to do was I had to pretty much develop, as my aunt, as Georgia said, was develop that mental blockage or mental strength. For me, your mental state can always change or divert you in many different ways. If you don't take care of your mental health, that for one can stop you for everything in your life. So I had to pretty much strengthen my mental state in the past couple months just so that I can keep pushing. And what I always say is never give up. Like, if something is happening in your life and you feel like it is negatively impacting you, you always try to find a positive in it and try push towards that goal. Because what happened in life is the enemy don't want to see you strive. He don't want to see you come to something good. So what you have to do is you have to prove them wrong and say, hey, no, 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 no. I'm the director of my boat. You ain't doing. I'm the captain of my ship. You ain't gonna tell me what to do and how to do it. And be strong. And once you do that, I'm telling you, you'll see different doors open for you in life. And what I had to do was just pretty much set my mind and set it in a way where I take control of my life and let myself know that, hey, there's nothing that's going to deter me from being my full potential. So everything she said pretty much I could take it into my life these past couple of years, months, days, and just use it as, I would say, my roadmap, because without a map you ain't gonna go nowhere. And I hope someone really learned something from what she said tonight and just apply it to your life. Whatever little part um that touched you, apply it to your life and you'll see the difference. And do not close yourself off from change. Change can be good and change can be bad. But once you know what change you're going for, you will reach your full potential. So that's what I wanted to share.
Thank you so much, TJ. And I'll allow one more person to share, but thank you so much for sharing that. And one of the things that she shared, the last quote, what I think it was from Nelson Mandela, it says, "Falling down is a part of life, but getting up is living." And so, whatever it is, whether it's not just business related. I know this is Mary Kay um, portion, but it's anything else. Like, if you fall down in or fail in other things, it's not really failing. It's a part of life. And, you just, when you get up, it means that, yeah, you're living, you're ready to take on the next challenge. We have one more person, then we're going to wrap up with some raffles and giveaways. So one more person, something that you heard, just affirm Georgette, and something that you heard tonight that stood out to you the most. So what was something you heard tonight that stood out to you?
Hi, good night.
Good night.
Something I heard, sorry. Um, reflecting on what happened, what you went through. Because if you move forward without reflecting, you run the chance of making the same mistake again. So you have to take a step back, as you mentioned, to reflect on what happened so you can know where I went wrong, what caused me to fall. And also when you fall, you don't stay down. You fall 7 times, you get up 8. It means you keep on going. All right. And they say when you fail, the next time you start, you are not starting from scratch, you're starting with experience. So this time you're even better than you were before. So as she said, don't fear failure. You have to accept it and work along with it. Use it to propel you to reaching your goal. So those are my takeaway points from Georgette's message.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I'm gonna I and Georgette, I know it took a lot for you to come here, but this was like weeks ago. She already had reached out and just I just led by the Holy Spirit and wanted to share. And I'm like, okay, you've been here before, and whatever God wants you to do or whoever this message is for, if you catch this on the replay, if this is for you, I just pray that God continues to use you, and don't be afraid. If you fall down, it's okay to shed some tears. It's okay to cry. But I've been through my storm, and I think during the storm, that was when I got to know God. That's when I got to see Him show up. So, anybody else would like to share? Last chance, and then I'm gonna wrap up with the raffle. And guests that are, if you win the raffle, you have to be on. So if you win and you're not on, then I'm gonna have to go to the next person. Anybody else would like to? Anyone else would like to affirm Georgette before I do the raffle? I want to respect you guys' time. I know we're a little bit 5 minutes over. That's not too bad. If not, we're gonna go ahead and do the quick raffle. And as a thank you for your patience and for being on. And the lucky raffle winner is Greta. And Greta was invited by Natalia. So Greta, make sure Natalia has your information, because I'm gonna mail out a gift for you. And then we're gonna do one more, just for your time. One more. And the winner is Tasha Gay, and she was invited by Georgette. So, and don't worry, Tasha Gay, I know you are, I don't know if you're up here or if you're in Jamaica, but we will organize a way for you to get your gift. So thank you so much, ladies, for being on. I hope, ladies and gents, I hope you were inspired. I hope this encourages you. Even if you're not in that moment right now where you're falling, but maybe it will happen in the future, I hope you remember this message and you get up, you brush your knees off, and you just continue to push forward. Thank you, Joan, for being on. She said she was inspired. Natalia, I know she already shared earlier. Anyone else would like to give last minute comments before we log off? Georgette, was there anyone that you wanted to connect with? You let me know.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi, this is Kalina. How are you?
I'm great. Hi, Kalina.
All right,
Welcome.
how
How
you
are
guys
you?
doing? Thank you. I'm well, and you guys?
Good. Was there anything that you heard tonight that stood out to you?
Yes, I caught the end of
Mhm.
what Georgette was saying, and I want to affirm what I what I caught was to get back up and dust yourself off and keep going and to never give up. So yeah, I'm going through a few things right now. I'm going through I feel like a transitional phase right now of being uh, in my early 40s, kids, leaving, growing up and leaving home. So this is a new phase for me. So I'm transitioning from, the kids being younger and now going out and, doing their own thing. And I'm like trying to find me right now. So, but yeah, that's what I took from that, just to keep going and never give up.
Thank you so much for being vulnerable and sharing that. And I know you
Thank
got the tail end, but if you want to
you.
hop on, well,
Hmm.
I'm going to share the link
Okay.
for the earlier part of what she shared. But thank you so much, and stay connected. Stay
I will.
connected because we encourage others. We encourage other people, and when you're going through stuff, you want to be around people that's going to lift you up, not tear you down. That's one of the best advice I can give you. And the other
Thank
advice
you.
is never take advice from anyone you wouldn't exchange places with. So if you don't learn anything from tonight, at least remember that. Don't take advice from anybody that you wouldn't exchange places with. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, ladies. Thank you. Congratulations to the winner, Bretta and Tasha Gay. Make sure the person who invited you has your information so that we can get your free gift out to you. And thank you so much again, Georgette, for coming and pouring into our girls, and for guests and other consultants that hopped on to support us. All right, ladies, and Jen, have a wonderful evening, and continue to dream big and get up, don't stay down. All right, so thank you, ladies and gents. Thank you, TJ, for hopping on.